And with that, I have a dead car battery. Hey there, welcome back to Hello Pumpkin Studios. In today's video, I get to change my 2015 Subaru Crosstrek car battery, so come join me. We're starting here. I've already popped the hood up, and the battery on this 2015 Subaru Crosstrek is actually located right here in the side panel. So what I'm going to do, and she's pretty dirty, so I'm gonna pop this bad boy off, set it up there, and then I'm gonna go get some bolts, my socket wrenches, and I'm gonna take this bad boy apart to get her out of here. All the bolts are 10mm bolts, so I have a couple. That's an Allen wrench, and then I have a socket bolt there. I also have these just in case if I need it. But yeah, so you're gonna take this one off because that's the positive. You're gonna take this one off because it's the negative, and then they look like they strap it in here. I got to figure out how they put this plastic wire over top of that one. But yeah, so I'm gonna start with taking the positive off, then take the negative off, and then take kind of this housing off that they put on here. I'm going to loosen it pretty far, but I'm not going to loosen it all the way because I want to keep the bolt connected there because I don't want to lose it. But yeah. Okay, that one's loose. Now I'm going to start over here. This one came off just a little bit easier. But yeah, you see all the grime on here. And I wanted to be honest with you guys, the last time I got this change was when Eric and I actually lived in Arizona, and I had just Subaru change it for me, and we haven't lived in Arizona for a good 5 years, so therefore this battery lasted me 5 years. But it looks like I'm gonna have to put on some rubber gloves so I don't get covered in grime and grit. So I'll stop here and I will pick you up in a second. All right, got my handy dandy
assistant
filming helper. I put my gloves on like I said. So I loosened this bolt for the positive, so be able to like to loosen it up there, and it should be able just to pop right off here. I might need to go get needle nose pliers, but then as you see the
do it again.
As you see, I loosened the negative, so the negative just popped right off there. I got to figure out how they put that. I think they just put the 10mm there, but it looks like plastic, so I guess it might be. Yeah, I just don't want to break that off there. But yeah, so now I'm going to get this positive off. I just don't want to get shocked even though the battery's completely dead. I'm going to put the negative back on there. Alright, so this has been kind of put on there pretty good. So I just had to wiggle it off a little bit, and then it comes right off there, and then you're just going to set it to the side against the tray. Same with the negative. Negative comes off just like that. And then I'm going to move down here to this bolt, and like I said, all these are 10mm. So if you have a 10mm ratchet, but yeah, this one's going to be a minute to get in here because you're fighting against the windshield wiper fluid. But
once you get it loose, I can use my fingers.
Yeah, Definitely wear gloves because this is going to be a messy job, just because it is an engine, and you can get dirty and get all the grime all over you, but I've noticed that trying to get the grime off, about the only thing that works is Dawn.
That's what cleans duckies.
And with having a baby girl, I want to make sure I keep my fingers as clean as possible. They put this bad boy in there nice and snug. Trying to see if I can do it with my fingers now. But yeah, if you have like the new ones that have like the ratchet on the bottom, that's probably your best bet. But I'm using my father-in-law's ones that he's had for many years. I actually don't own a pair of these, so I'm using my father-in-law's. I have just like the ratchet, which I probably could get the ratchet in there now and just use my fingers to do it. But that's what I have, and so that's why I had the other ones. But yeah, so now we're getting there. They put these bad boys in there and they don't want them to move. Oh. Alright. So have you heard? This piece fell, and it's like just like a J kind of nut that they put on the bottom just to kind of keep this piece in there. So I'm going to put the screw back on there. And it's helpful. Don't do what I do, which is just set it here, because it can fall down into the engine. It's better if you just set them on the ground next to your car, or set them on a table if you have a table. So I'm going to move them to the ground now. So I'm loosening this bolt back here. Let's see if I can get this part out of the way, because I just need like a little clearance. Just to move it just a little bit. There we go. I think I need to go just a tad bit more. There we go. So there's the J bracket there, and it's going to just stay all together. I'm just going to set it right there. Okay, oh, don't do that. So now that I got those all out of the way, it's just sliding her over and just picking her up out of here.
Use dead muscles.
You gotta have small hands to be a car technician, I think.
Is the whole front thing lift down or no?
Can't.
There we go. You just had to find your right grip.
But this is why I recommend wearing gloves. And I still got dirty. So, she's out. The best two spots that we've been told to buy battery is Walmart or Costco. We don't have a Costco card, so we're heading to Walmart, and we're gonna replace this. And the reason why I wanted to get it out before going to Walmart is because they offer a it's called a core fee, which is anywhere from $12 to $22. So basically this is biohazard material, and basically you take it back, they give you $12 to $22 off the purchase price of a new battery. So that's where we're headed next. We're back home. I know we didn't record inside of Walmart, It just was hectic, and the way that they do it at the Walmarts here in Florida, you have to basically take your battery in, and then they require you to, like, they just go and grab the battery that you need. So this is the battery that I picked up. As of the recording of this, since it is October of 2025, this battery for this Subaru was $179.84 before tax, and the battery fee, since I took the battery out, which you guys saw just a moment ago, they waived the battery fee, which here in Florida it's $12. It could differentiate depending on where you're at in the county and different things like that, so just keep that in mind. But this one, the EverStart Premium, is the highest tier one that Walmart sells. So this one costs the most, and it gives you the four-year warranty with a free replacement. So you get 4 years, no questions asked for the replacement. Leave down in the comments below as if you've ever had to deal with Walmart and replacing a battery within the warranty time frame. Just curious to see, because the last one, as you saw, I had replaced by Subaru themselves. Other thing to mention is that you could also get 3 other levels of battery. So they have like the lowest tier, which is like a 1-year warranty battery for $70. Then they have a 2-year warranty for $110. I'm rounding, it's like a $109 and some change. And then they have a 3-year, which is $134.84 or $135. But just rounding, this was the best battery just because I drive this car a lot, and we have a young daughter, and I have a wife, and where I go to work can be an hour away from the house. So I just wanted to have the reliability of a better battery. I also wanted to mention that I've heard that Costco sometimes has a really good price on batteries as well. But I realized that if you do the 3-year warranty battery, that Costco and Walmart have the same price for the AGM, because this is an AGM battery. They're both $179 and some change. This one's $179.84, and the one at Costco is $179.99. Costco does charge a $15 battery fee because these are hazardous material, so that's why they charge you like a core fee. The one here is $12, like I mentioned prior. If you do the 3-year warranty, the one at Costco is cheaper. It's $123.99 or $124. The one at Walmart, like I mentioned, was $134.84, so a difference of $10. However, you still have to have a Costco membership to be able to utilize that. But I just wanted to give you guys that heads up and some information regarding batteries for my 2015 Subaru Crosstrek. One thing that I always do, since batteries only get replaced every 3 to 5 years, is I use this Noco, is the name of it, Noco, and it's basically battery cleaner and acid detector, and it just removes all of the dirt and grime that is on the battery, or on like the surfaces. So for example, this piece, as you see, it's all corroded. So I spray this on there, and as you can see, it's already started to kind of deteriorate that. But I'm going to spray this on there because you see it all just corrodes. I'm going to spray this on there, let it sit the 3 to 4 minutes that it mentions, and then I'm going to wipe it off with a damp cloth, and it just keeps the area clean. I'm also going to spray the corrosive stuff on this because it's all corroded, so I'm going to give it a little and I'm going to give it a couple minutes, and then I'll come back and wipe it off. So we're back here at this one, and as you can see, it's been a few minutes, so I'm going to take like a wet paper cloth, wring it out. You can use any water, you could spray it, but then you just wipe it off and try to get all the, you can see the just the nasty stuff that's all over this. So you just want to clean it off every so often, or every time you change your battery, because it is corrosive, and since it is acid, you're trying to prolong the life of all your batteries that you have. Probably should have put gloves on because now my hands are going to be all covered again. But yeah, I'm going to let that dry. I'll probably give it a half hour or so between this and putting it back on, and then I'll take this bolt off to make my life easier when I go to hook the battery back up. But yeah, that's how you clean it. And I could probably squirt it again because it looks like there's still some more dirt and grime, so I might give it another squirt and try to clean it up a little more. Here's what they look like after about 5-10 minutes and me scrubbing them. So this is the negative one. As you can see, nice and clean. Same with the positive, scrubbing it nice and clean. It's not necessary, but if you want to prolong the life of your car as much as we do, it's something that I recommend. I'll have to look up to see how much that bottle costs, because I have had that around since probably 2022, 2023. Whenever Erica's car needed a new battery, I've had that laying around, so it's nice to have laying around the house. This also is a great time to get the shop vac out and sweep out the tray that holds the battery, because look at all that gross stuff that sits down in there. So it's a great time to get the shop vac out and clean this bad boy out. I also wanted to show you what the holder looks like. So this is after I did 2 coats of the corrosion. So this is that's just paint that's already peeled off there and potentially coming off there. But yeah, that's what it looked like. And you can tell when the stuff works because it comes out yellow, and then when it hits the rust it comes out like a pink color, and that's it taking off the corrosion. I ended up taking this like kind of sleeve that goes around the battery out just so that I could show you. So this is the tray that sits down in here. So this is just a generic tray. You can clean out down there if you'd like, but that's the wheel housing there. So as you see, this piece sits right there, and there's an arrow that shows that it should be facing forward. So it sits right there, and now you can see kind of the casing where the battery should sit. So what I normally do is I leave this off for now, and I put this on last once I get the battery in there, because what I've noticed is this sleeve, as you saw when I was trying to get the battery out, it gets in the way more times than not. And then that way now I can get the battery down in there without that being in the way, get it all situated, then put the sleeve over it, and then hook up, because this is where one of those J bolts is going to sit right there, and then the other J bolt sits down in here where my finger's pointing. I know you're not going to be able to see it, but basically right there is where the other J bolt, and it comes up and holds the battery in place. All right, so my trusted helper's back, and now it's time to put the battery back in. Luckily this one's got like a handle on it. You can take the handle off by just like pressing in, but I'm going to see if it actually sits in here without the handle. But you're just going to want to push these back and slide right into the tray like so. And luckily it slid in there a lot easier than what she came out as. So she's in there, and now we're going to put the sleeve back on there that I took off, and then we're going to hook it all back up. All right, so I'm going to put the sleeve back on. Once again, slide this over. Actually, it might be a little more difficult to put the sleeve on once she's in here, but because now I realize I'm up underneath here. So hold please. All right, I thought it would be easier to put the battery in there without the sleeve on, but as you saw, it's got to sneak up underneath the frame of the car. So I'm going to put the sleeve back on there, lift her up, move these, slide it into the tray. There we go, just like that. Just make sure you try not to get the cords to touch until you get everything hooked up in there securely, and then we can, because before you want to hook anything up, you're going to want to put the brace that goes across here on. Alright, so this is going to be the tricky part of getting the J pin back down in here. It might help if you have some light, which I'm using my handy dandy phone, but I got her hooked, and now I'm going to tighten her, and then I'll do the front one. Now the tricky part is to keep it in there, to be able to tighten this down. And you just want snug for now so that you can get the other J in there, but yeah. She's in there. I'm just going to double check. So it's down in there. I know the camera's probably not going to do a good job, but down in there, that's where the J hook goes, and then it tightens up here. The front one's a little easier because it just goes right here, and then probably helpful if you put it through the thing first and then hook it down in there, and then hold it with one finger. It's a little easier because you have a lot more room up here, and just tighten her down like that, and then we'll tighten her down first before hooking everything up. Just do it finger tight first before you can get your 10mm out. But yeah, so she's finger tight now, and then I'll go get the tighten her down more. Once I get that one tight, I'll start doing this one back here. Alright, so the battery's in there, as you see. Super snug, tight, not going anywhere. That's what you want, because you don't want this thing rattling around. And now it's time to hook up the battery. So to hook up the battery, what I like to use, once again from Noco, is NCP2, which is basically a battery corrosion preventative. And basically you spray the nubs, and then also the parts that connect to the nubs. So that's what I'm gonna do now. And it just goes like this. Just go here, you just spray it on there. Sometimes there's ones that you can like use that are just that like paint on, but this is the one that I've had, and I just always use this one. And then once again, I'll spray it on here. But what I like to do is make sure that I get a towel, because I want to make sure that I don't get this all over a car. So I like to just be able to spray inside of here, because I don't like to get it all over everything. Try to keep your car as nice and clean as possible. Hooked up there, press down snugly, and then this part will get here because it helps it sit there, and then finger bolt it tight over here, and then we'll come back with the 10mm again once we get the other side on there. So there's the negative side, and now we're gonna put this under here, give it a little spray like so, and then hook up. positive side like that. And then I'll snug it up with the 10mm. All right, well, final step. You're always starting in with the same step. Putting that piece back on there. And that's how you change a battery. One thing that I want to be completely transparent on about this, because I'm all about transparency, is that this battery is extremely heavy. Like Erica tried to pick it up. It is a good 35 pounds, if not more, and it's awkward. So I want to make sure that, like, if you are going to do this, make sure that you are physically able and capable of doing this, because it is not for the faint of heart, and you have to get in here and finagle it around. So just something to keep in mind if you are going to change your battery. And another thing is make sure you have the right tools, because you need a 10mm socket wrench or one of these. I don't know the exact terminology for these, I should, but just something to keep in mind if you are going to do this. You will save it will probably cost $400, $500 to get a battery replaced. You'll save a good $200 doing it yourself if you go with the top tier grade that we did from Walmart or Costco. I didn't check I didn't check AutoZone or like O'Reilly's Auto Parts, but from our perspective and what's close to our house, Walmart was the best price, just because we don't have Costco. So just something to keep in mind. And she starts. The worst part about changing the battery is everything goes back to factory setting. So now I gotta let everything warm back up. And it's definitely not 107. Thanks for joining me on this project where I ended up changing the battery in my 2015 Subaru Crosstrek. Like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think, or if there's something I should do differently when it comes to replacing a battery in a car. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you around on the next project.